Hello students, in this video we are going to learn chapter 13 of standard 4th EVS. The name of this chapter is A River's Journey. Now, which is the closest river to your city? Yes, you might know that river Par, it is known as Par Nadi also, is the closest river to our area. Now, you can see many plants and some animals around that river, okay? And there are some beautiful sceneries at the banks of the river. The area around the river is known as the bank of river. Now the river starts from a mountain and it ends into the sea. Sea has salty water. You also know it as the ocean, okay? So it starts from the mountain and ends into the sea. Now the water of the river is not salty, it's sweet water, and we use that water for farming, even to drink and to do many other things like watering the plants. Now here we are going to talk about a river which begins from a mountain, ends into the sea, but what does it see along the way? What are the pictures, what are the places that the river visits before reaching into the sea? Now here is the picture of the river which you have to observe. Now as you can see, the river begins in the mountain. This area is the mountain, okay? Then as it goes down, here there are many trees, okay? This area is close to the mountain. Now as it comes to small villages, you can see some small houses around the river. Now as the river enters into the city, here the color of the water is blue, and as it enters into the city, slowly the color of water is changing. Can you see over here? Yes. Now what is that causes this change in the color of water? Now you will see some factories around the river. Here there is a city and here there are few factories. Now the chemical which is released from the factory and the city is making the river water dirty. It is contaminating the river water, and the river water is no longer clean. So the color of the water is also changed. Now the water which is close to the mountain is clean and people can drink this water without falling sick. It is good for their body and it is good for the plants also. But as it reaches the city, the color of the water changes because of the chemicals, and now it is unhealthy to drink this water which is near the city. Now let's read further. Look carefully at the picture of the river. Read the words given below. Now here there are few words given down. For example, like boat, flowing water, clouds, fish, aquatic plants, river, etc. Now using these words you have to make a story of the river. On the next page, on page 102, look at the picture and answer the following question. What is the color of water from where the river begins? Now the water is colorless, okay? Now due to the sky it may look bluish, okay? But the color of water, if I say, is colorless. So you can write the answer over here. I will be sending you the answers so you can see and write. Either you can write your answer in your own words. Let's see next. At some places there are many fish in the river. At other places there are only a few, and some places there are dead fish. What could be the reason for this? Discuss. Now In some places there are many fish. For example, in the place where the river starts to flow near the mountain, you will find many fish because the water is clean. Then in other places like in the village area, you will find few fish because the water is already dirty, because animals, people bathe cattle, they wash clothes, and they do some activities which make the water dirty, and that is the reason why you see few fish over there. But in some places there are dead fish. Fishes die because the water is dirty due to the presence of chemical in the water. So the place where you find dead fish is because the water is contaminated because of the chemical which is added into the water. Now let's see the next question. What can be seen in the river before it reaches the village? Yes, before it reaches the village, that means close to the mountain in the valley, you will see large number of fish in the water. So that would be your answer. Next question is, at which place did the color of water in the river change? Why did this happen? Discuss. Now the color of water changed near the village because people bathed animals and cattle and they washed their clothes in the water, which made the water dirty. It also changed in the area around the city because chemicals from the factory was added into the water. It was flowing into the water. The next question is, which of the places shown in the picture would you like to live in? Why? Now the answer would be, I would like to live in a place which is not polluted. That means the place near the mountain. Next question, would you like to change any of the things that you see in the picture? Why and how? So I would like to remove the waste from the banks of the river and from the water. Because of these waste, river is getting polluted. Next question is, what could be done to keep the rivers clean? So to keep the river clean, we could keep the surrounding area around the river clean, and we could avoid polluting water by doing harmful activities using the river water. Our next question is, if you wanted to drink some water, from which part of the river would you like to drink? Why? So your answer can be, I would like to drink water from the upper reaches from the beginning of the river. That means the place near the mountains. The water near the source of the river is pure and uncontaminated. Uncontaminated means clean, not dirty. The next question is, in the last part of the picture, the river flows into the sea. Have you ever seen the sea? Where? In a movie or somewhere else? Now, if you live in Umarsadi or some places near the ocean, near the sea, you will see that the river comes from the mountain and meets the sea. So the water of the river and the water of the sea meet over there. You can see this same scenery in Daman also and in Umarsadi also. So you can write any of the names over here in your answer. So your answer should be like this. Yes, I have seen river flowing into the sea at Umarsadi, or you can write at Daman. The next question is, have you ever been near a river or sea? When? So your answer be, yes, there is a river in my city. I have been near a river whenever I go to Valsad. So when river is the river Par, so whenever you go to Valsad, you see Par Nadi. Okay, so you visit the river Par, and the sea is all around us. In Umarsari, if you go, there is sea. If you go to Dwara, there is sea. If you go to Daman, there is sea. If you go to Tithal, there is sea. So you can choose whichever answer you like the most. Now show with your hand and draw how the waves move in the sea. So your answer can be the waves move up and down in the sea over here. Next question is the water from the sea drinkable? Why? So you can write here that sea water is not drinkable because it is saline. Saline means salty. Here is a question, do you think there would be changes taking place in river, pond or stream at different times of the year? What kind of changes would these be? Discuss. Now changes means the level of water is changing. For example, during the summer season, the level of water is going down. Why? Because the water is getting evaporated due to the heat of the sun. Whereas in the monsoon season, the level of water increases. Why? Because of the rainwater that is spilled into the river, the quantity of the water, the amount of water increases. So these are the two changes which you see at two different times of the year. Here is a new question. Will there be same amount of water in the ponds and rivers during the rainy season and in summer? So as I said before, water in rainy season will be more than in summer season. The amount of water will be more in rainy season and the amount of water will be less in the summer season. Now here is the next question. Get information about river, pond or puddle nearby your village or city. Now are there any changes in their water during summer, rainy season and in winter? So let your answer be over here. Yes, in summer the water level decreases. Decreases means becomes less. In rainy season, water is at its maximum level. Okay, that means the level of water is grown. And during the winter season, the water is neither too much or neither too less. It is stable. Now, what are the different kinds of aquatic animals found there? So your answer can be there are several kinds of fish found there. A few of them are rohu, katla, etc. If you know the names of any other aquatic animals like fish, and if you know the name of those fish, you can mention those names over here as well. Our next question is, what kind of trees and plants grow around it? So you can write many kinds of trees and plants grow around it. If you know any names, for example, the coconut trees which grow around the sea and where the sea and the river meets, you can find many coconut trees. You can find many kinds of bushes around the river as well. So you can write about those over here as well. The next question is, what kind of birds come there? So you can write crane, eagle. Eagle come there to eat the dead fish in shallow water. And cranes also come to eat fish. Crows, ducks, etc. come there. You can mention the names of these birds. And if you have seen any other birds apart than these, then you can write their name as well. Our next question is, have you ever seen, heard or read about floods? Where? So you can write, yes, I have seen flood in Bihar and in Assam. Next question is, what happens when there is a flood? Your answer will be, houses, roads and railway tracks are inundated when there is a flood. Inundated means the services are stopped because the huge amount of water and the uncontrollable wind which flows rapidly during that period of time. Next question is, have you seen dirty water in a river or pond? Where? So your answer will be yes, I have seen dirty water in Par river. The next question is, how would you know if the water is dirty? If the water looks clean, can you be sure that it is drinkable? Discuss. Now, when the color of water is muddy, that means the water is dirty. But even if the water is clean, there are some germs which are very small and which we cannot see. So, that water is not drinkable, and we can only drink the water once it is boiled or it is passed through a netted cloth, a thin cloth, so that all the germs which are there in the water are filtered out. So you have to either filter the water or boil the water. Only then that water is drinkable for you and healthy. Now here is a question, how does water become dirty? You saw in the picture that as the river flowed near many villages, towns and cities, the people used the river water for different purposes. Purposes means different activities like washing clothes, bathing animals and cleaning utensils. Utensils means vessels. Thus, the river is not the same like when it was in the beginning. Many of these activities made the water dirty. So, doing these all activities made the water dirty. The water in the river kept changing as it flowed through various places. Water in ponds and lakes can also become dirty due to similar reasons. From where do you get your drinking water? A river or a lake? Do you think that, like the river in the picture, your river or lake can also be affected? So you can write your answer over here. Like for example, you get the water through the pipeline. So you can write that we get our drinking water through pipeline. From where does it come? It comes from a river. So do you think that the river in the picture, your river or lake, can also be affected? So here you can write yes, the river from where our drinking water comes also can be affected in the same way. Now here is an activity. For this activity you will need to bring certain things from your home. You will find most of these things in the kitchen. What are those things? Salt, sugar, haldi, flour, baking soda and dal. So you will need about half a tablespoon of each. In the next, lemon juice, soap water and sharbat oil, about half a tablespoon of each. Now what do you need more? 5 or 6 glasses or bottles. Now what will you do? Fill about half of each glass of bottle with water. Make sure that all have the same amount of water. Now one by one put each of the things in the water. For example, haldi in the first glass, oil in the second and so on. You can continue. Now you have to mark the observation that you have done. So this activity has to be done by yourself. You have to put all these ingredients in each of the glass or bottle and you have to check. Now for example, here the first thing is dissolved in water. Dissolved means it is getting completely mixed in the water. So yes, sugar gets mixed, salt gets mixed, lemon juice gets mixed and haldi also gets mixed. Then did not dissolve in water. Now things which are hard like stone or oil, they do not get, oil is not hard but it is a substance which does not mix with the water. So things like stone or things like oil will not get mixed in the, will not dissolve in the water. Then the next thing is color of water changes. For example, if you add sugar, the color of water might not change. Okay, if you add salt, the color might not change. Even by lemon juice it will not change, but by adding haldi means saffron powder, the color of water will change and become yellow. So you have to tick accordingly. Do this experiment by yourself and tick in appropriate column. Then there are some questions given below which you have to answer based on the experiment which you are doing. The first one is, do all the things dissolve in water? For example, sugar, salt, oil. Does everything dissolve in water? No. Next is, does the color of water always change as each material is added? So that will also be no. For example, if you add sugar and salt, the color of water will not change. But if you add saffron, then the color of water will change. Did oil dissolve in water? No. How can you say whether it has dissolved or not? We can say that oil does not dissolve in water as the oil floats on the water. Okay. That means if it is dissolving, it will settle down, and if it is not dissolving, it will come up and float on the surface of the water. Now color of water may not change even after some things are dissolved in it. Would you say that these are absent in water? So what is said over here, that if you add sugar in water, okay, the color of water will not change. But can we say that there is no sugar in the water? No. If you taste the water will taste sweet. That means there is sugar in the water. We cannot say that sugar is absent in water. Absent means not present in the water. It is not there in water. If you add sugar, it will dissolve, it will disappear, but the taste will remain there. Imagine how it would be if things like sugar, salt, lemon juice, sharbat, etc. could not dissolve in water. So you have to think, if these things will not dissolve in water, what will happen? Will you be able to cook food? If sugar does not dissolve, there will be no taste in the water. For example, if you dissolve dal in water, does the water taste like dal? No. But if you dissolve sugar in water, the water becomes sweet. Same way, if you dissolve salt in water, the water becomes salty. So if these things did not dissolve in water, then we would not be able to cook. The second is, imagine how it would be if things like stones, chalk, plastic and garbage would dissolve in water. For example, if you put stone in water and the stone disappeared in water, it got completely mixed in water, then what would happen? Think. Yes, it would make water very dirty, and then we would not be able to construct things also, because if it got dissolved in water, it would disappear, right? Now let's read further. Do all the things dissolve easily in water? From them, many things like stones, plastic, chalk, garbage, etc. dissolve in water. Then what would happen? So same question was asked before. If all these things dissolve in water, what would happen? The water would become very dirty, and we would not be able to use all these things in other activities to construct other things. Some of these can be very harmful for our body. Hence, it is important that we purify water before drinking it. One of the best ways to do this is to boil the water. As I said before, we can either filter the water or we can boil the water. But the best technique to clean water is to boil water. If for some reason this cannot be done, can you think of some other way to clean water? So yes, I said already that we can filter the water as well. How is drinking water purified in your home? At my home, we use a water filter. Then find out a different way of purifying water at home. Now, a substance called alum can be added into water to purify it. Now, here is the next question. Draw a picture showing any two ways of purifying the water. So here you can draw picture of any one of the techniques like boiling water or filtration of water, and you can write a few lines about one of these techniques. Here we learned about the journey of a river, how the river begins from a certain point and at what point does it end. Now it is very sad to know that at certain places the river becomes very dirty and the water is contaminated a lot, and we are unable to drink the water. We are not only harming the plants which are around the river, but we are also harming the aquatic animals, the creatures which are living in the water, which should not be done. Next time when you drink water, be sure that you finish the glass of water and do not waste water. I would also like to tell you that when you brush your teeth, we have always been teaching you this, that when you brush your teeth, what do you have to do? Yes, you have to turn off the tap and brush your teeth and then use water. Try to use a bucket when you have a bath, so that you will use less water to have a bath and do not waste more water than is required. The next thing is that if you see somebody else throwing garbage in water, for example plastic or any such material, you should stop them from doing this. Especially try to inculcate the same values in your parents if they are unknowingly doing these activities. And be safe, keep the area around you clean and safe, keep water safe, try to drink at least 8 glasses of water daily, which will help you to remain healthy and strong. Have a nice day. I hope that you all understand and enjoy this lesson. God bless you all.